Welcome to TRBCollectibles. My name's Tom, and I will be your guide through this antique store. There's a couple ways an antique store owner can make money. They can sell individual items, or they can sell the floor space to others who want to sell items. In this case, this antique store is 2 floors big, and they sell the floor space. You can see a perfect example of a booth straight ahead of us. The individual seller will go out, buy their own items, put them in their booth, compete against other booths in the same store, and pay rent each and every month to the antique store owner. And that's how the antique store owner makes their money. Today we're going to get to see some pretty awesome booths. I think it's just ingrained as a reseller that we all know that there's value to Coca-Cola. As far as advertising and large metal signs, not everything that has the Coca-Cola branding on it is valuable, but there's some stuff like these signs that people truly look for and collect. Don't get me wrong, I'm an adult. I'm responsible, but when I walk into a section like this that's full of a lot of breakable stuff, I still get super nervous that I'm going to trip on something and collapse a whole shelf. So I always tread lightly when I go through breakables. If there was one category I could tell you that I am still unfamiliar with it, but it's probably because more of a choice on my behalf, it's glassware. Is it collectible? Yes. Is it valuable? Yes. Do people look for it? Yes. The reasons that I'm a little bit more uncomfortable with it is just for the fact of shipping it and making sure I can keep it without breaking it. In an antique store, it's more of an ideal situation. Yes, there are accidents that do happen, but until I can have that kind of retail space, I think I'm going to probably leave glassware behind. Will I still want to learn about it? Of course. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to focus my efforts in other categories. I was so excited to see the next set of items. If you didn't know, I am a huge fan of the 1964-1965 New York World's Fair from my hometown of Queens, New York. You're going to see the series of frosted glasses. Now, there were 8 in total to collect. Here I noticed that 4 of them were the same, so I did leave them behind because I do have a couple already. Now, granted, all of these glasses were based on pavilions at the fair. There were 8 different pavilions featured on the glasses. The Federal Pavilion, the Continental Circus, the Unisphere, the Port Authority Building, the Pool of Industry, the New York State Pavilion, Shea Stadium, and the Hall of Science. If you see them out and about while you're thrifting, yard sailing, or estate sailing, it's always a wonderful collectible to have, especially if you're a fan of World's Fairs. There's a wide variety of categories that's not necessarily resellable online, but it's more so in person, and that's going to be furniture, just based on the pure fact that it's very heavy. In this section, I noticed a lot of really nice wood furnishings, like these right here, that take 8 people to lift. But there will be that very, very individual, unique buyer that is looking for it, and when they find it and you have it, they will pay up for that specific piece of furniture. I was a little taken aback, but I saw these little heads in these glasses. But these look to be that they are wine and bottle toppers, which I have never seen before. The uniqueness of having individual booths in an antique store is that you can see the differences from one booth to the next. Some are heavily curated in the items that you're going to see, and others, like this one, are going to have a little bit of everything, from paper ephemera to furniture to lamps to fishing nets and hinges and lights and toys. It's really depending on the seller's tastes and what they want to sell. You have to remember they're also competing against other booths in the store, and try to pick items that are going to catch your eye. If you have more categories, you have more of a potential to make a sale. Unlike the previous booth that had a ton of items all over the aisles, this one's more curated. It focuses on smalls. It has a wide variety of categories from pewter candlestick holders to salt and pepper shakers to glasses and piggy banks, including collectible figures. You're going to see a wide variety of categories just make you want to look at them all. To that one specific collector, you'll definitely find them. And all these items don't take up as much floor space as that last booth. It all depends on what you want to sell and how you want to lay it out, because you will find your buyer. The next case, I got super excited. It was filled with model trains. I am an enthusiast of model railroading, so after I filmed this section, I went back and I definitely looked at all these model trains. Now, to a reseller, unfortunately, this is not going to be worth it, but to that individual model railroader, if you find that one train or car you're looking for, it's definitely something that is worth it, and also really neat to take a look at. Another good thing about antique stores is those one-off, very unique items that you just have never seen before, and this carousel was one of them. It was very vintage, it was old, I thought it was super neat, super cool. Is it something that I would probably put in my house? No, but did I enjoy really looking at it? Of course, it was awesome. Guess what I found? More model trains! Now granted, these are a larger scale than what we saw before, but a lot of them were in their boxes or displayed just really nicely and just wonderful to look at, almost like a model train display. I'm always enthusiastic to see what's written on the side of the cars or the locomotives, and to see what line they represent, so I totally geeked out in this section again. When you realize you have a camera small enough to bring you down to the perspective of a model railroad, you totally do it. Anybody want to play pinball? We talked about different booths and the items that you can put in them. You could potentially have a smaller booth and only deal with smalls and potentially make just as much as a larger booth with larger items. So it really depends on how you use your floor space to maximize profit. But also remember, the larger the footprint, the more rent that you will pay to the store owner. So I wanted to call out this unique item, that metal loop. Any guesses on where it might have come from? No? You could find those on public buses and public trains back in the day. It was a handhold so you wouldn't fall over. Now what they do, instead of pulling down on a handhold like that one, it's just a metal bar that you hold on to. But the nice thing is, people salvaged all of them, and there's a unique market for it. Thank you for watching all the way through to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to click that like button. If you had a great time, please be sure to share the video with a friend and click that subscribe button. If you had any questions or comments, be sure to leave them down below. As always, my name's Tom, and this has been TRB Collectibles.